And I sorry about that.
Sorry.
So we're particularly challenged to mount the event. We've also taken on even more this year. I'm sure most of you are aware we're going to host the NORAM finals next week. So we have a lot of volunteer coordination that we're trying to do. But we really appreciate particularly all the new families that are involved in the club that maybe haven't experienced Whistler Cup before and really understand that it's the only FIS sanctioned U16 event in North America. We have teams coming from across the world to come to Whistler Mountain Ski Club and compete in this competition. And we really have a challenge in front of us to meet the standard, the very high standard that's been established with this event in the 30-year history. So thank you very much for participating in today's call. I'm going to hand it over to Christine Cogger, who's going to give you a quick overview of the event and all the intricacies of the week-long festivities that we're going to be organizing here in April.
Thanks, Rob. Hi, everyone. I know there's lots of familiar faces on the call and lots of you that I haven't met, so it's wonderful to see everybody. Before I jump into the schedule, I'll just give a little bit of a global view of the event. This race is unique in that we have U14 and U16 on the hill at the same time. And a lot of our teams come to us from not only other provinces in Canada, but particularly at the U16 level, we host a lot of international teams. So this year we have the US, Norway, Switzerland, Finland, Argentina, Chile, Japan, Brazil, UK, and a few other smaller nations joining us. So it's a pretty big deal for these guys to come and join us. We always promise that the sun is shining in April in Whistler, but as we know, it's not necessarily the case. But regardless of the weather, we try to put on a really good show for them. So that's where everybody on this call comes in. I'm just going to quickly share my screen and then you guys can see the fun schedule that we have. Does everybody see that? Just need a thumbs up, Mike, or somebody. Okay, perfect. So the event technically runs from the Monday prior to the race, which is April 10th. And we have some on-hill stuff that the staff is doing, but we really kick off with volunteers at 3 o'clock that afternoon with our first block of athlete accreditation as well as volley check-in. And the accreditation and check-in all takes place at the ski club cabin from 3 to 6 on Monday. And then Tuesday, we will start operations in the morning because teams will be trickling in, and we've broken it up. So we have accreditation for volunteers and skiers from 8 to 11 at the ski club. And then a lot of our teams are already here and they're training on the hill or free skiing. And then again, that afternoon, more check-in time at the ski club. And then we'll have our first team captains meeting, which is hosted at the Fairmont. And that's only for our U16 teams who are getting ready to train for the Super G on the following day. And then we'll jump to Wednesday. So it's very similar to Tuesday, except that now we have official skiing has actually begun, where we have 3 separate training groups for the U16 Super G. So they'll be skiing on the track. And then we have accreditation and volley check-in again in the afternoon. And then we'll have our first official full team captains meetings for both U16 and U14 at the Fairmont. So all the team captains meetings are always at the Fairmont, and we try to split them U16 and U14 so that we're not keeping everybody for too long. Then on Thursday, things start even earlier. We'll be at the base of the Whistler Gondola by, most everybody arrives by 6:30. We start early loading at 7 to prepare for our day of racing. And on Thursday, it'll be the Super G. So only the U16s race on Thursday. The U14s will be here, but they'll be training and free skiing all over the mountain. And Thursday is also the last day that we do athlete accreditation. If you're not here by Thursday, well, you're probably not racing. We still do, however, continue with volunteer check-in. That night is also a big night for us because in addition to our team captains meetings, we also have the parade, which brings all of the skiers and the coaches through the entire village. This is a real highlight for them. So we do that, and then we end with an opening ceremony and as well as a welcome dinner at the Fairmont. So throughout the week on the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we host banquets for everybody attending the event, all the skiers and coaches. So we do those nightly at the Fairmont. And then Friday, we are full steam ahead with everybody racing. So U14 and U16, and they're all over on Whistler. So we'll do an early load again. At early load, I should have said, is also where everybody will pick up their lunches for the day. So volunteers and athletes. They'll load the mountain, and then at the end of the day, after they're done racing, we have, again, team captains meetings, the team photos, which are a big deal for these guys. So we organize time slots for everybody to show up and get their team photos done, followed by another dinner for the teams and the coaches. And that same night, we will be hosting a volunteer thank you for all of you guys at Black's Pub. So more details to come on that. That'll be at 7 o'clock on the on the Friday. Saturday is our big day because not only do we have everyone racing, we also host a sponsor and VIP thank you ski around day, which means that all of our sponsors are invited to come and join us for the day. They get the opportunity to ski with special guest guides, which are often alumni from the ski club or ski team members, so on. They are treated to breakfast and lunch with us, as well as a cocktail reception and then dinner. They joined us for dinner at the banquet. So some of our crew is helping with that, and then everybody else is helping with the plethora of races that are going on Saturday. And then the banquet is always a big event. It's our biggest night for the dinner, and parents are welcome to attend that dinner as well on the Saturday. So we usually have about 650 to 700 people attending on the Saturday night. And then Sunday, it is our final early load day. It's also a big day for racing because it is our big U16 team event, which is always a great way to end the race week for everybody. And then we end it with awards and closing ceremony, and we hand over the cup to whoever wins it for 2023. Just so everybody knows, the defending champions are currently Team Canada. So the pressure is on us to keep the cup at home. And last but not least, we have a coaches social for anybody who's still standing at the end of the week, and we celebrate the end of a successful event. And that, in about 6 minutes, is Whistler Cup. I will stop sharing my screen now. Awesome. Unless anybody has questions about this. I will make this shareable, and I will make it prettier, and everybody can download it and have in their pocket.
Thanks, Christine. And the schedule is on the website. If for those who don't know, on our Whistler Mountain Ski Club website, there is a Whistler Cup tab, and you can find details in there. I'm going to put it in the chat right now, along with that Michaela Schifrin video is in the chat as well. So it's a full, it's a real spectacle to be part of the international youth children's events that go on, like Rob was saying, that are FIS sanctioned events. You need to have certain standards, and it's well noted that you have an opening ceremonies, you have a banquet, you have these things, but it's well noted that amongst the group that Whistler Cup goes above and beyond, and it remains pretty special for them, for all the participants. Over to our good, Christine.
Yeah, I was just going to add one thing, that because it's the 30th anniversary, we're really leaning on our dinner theme of heroes. So we're really going to be highlighting heroes of not only the ski racing history in Whistler, but also the heroes that are everybody who helps put this event together. So if anyone has any ideas on how to what's the word I'm looking for? Highlight volunteers or honor volunteers, or, you know, put the spotlight on people who've really gone above and beyond. I'd love to hear from you guys.
Awesome. So we have our three, well, we have two of our three, I believe, unless Brigitte is with Jason, but we have our chief of race. So as Christine mentioned, there are three races, three events happening at once. And the U14 men and women, boys and girls are split, and the U16s all operate together. And on any given day, they're either doing GS slalom or the parallel team event. So we have three ROCs, race organizing committees, and three chief of race. To start, why don't I pass it over to Jeff Parkhill, who is taking on the team events.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. So as chief of race for the duel, which will be on the Dave Murray run, so Dave Murray downhill, not to be confused with the Dave Murray National Training Center. So it's always been run there. It's a really fun event. It's fun to be involved with as a volunteer. There's a lot of excitement. We usually have an announcer going on at the bottom. And it's a lot of action all packed into 3 days. The highlight probably being the U16 team event on the final day. It's really, really exciting and action packed. And with that, you know, I encourage, one of the reasons you guys are here is to, you know, see what you can do and volunteer for. Is don't be afraid to volunteer for anything, basically, because we've all started somewhere. So it's a great event to get involved with. The camaraderie amongst the volunteers is amazing. There's still lots of positions available on all three courses. So something to get involved with, but you'll have a lot of fun on the duel if you want to be there. With the U14s, all U14s will get to run through. The team event is a little bit different, and the format's still not quite hammered down, but we're trying to run it the same as we have before. So, which if you were there, it's yeah, pretty exciting to watch from the bottom. Any questions you can you know, ask now, or certainly direct it to Jennifer or Georgia. So I don't think there's too much else to add right now.
Great, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, just to reiterate that it is a exciting event. If anyone hasn't been around a team event, especially at that caliber in the U16s, it's really cool to be around it. So nice, thank you, Jeff. Over to John Novak, who's our chief of race for the slaloms. So yeah, over to John.
Yeah, the slalom runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, just as an aside, I was going through some of the old race schedules and start lists from, you know, the last 10 years, and it's amazing how many men and women are on the various national teams now that we see competing at the World Cup level and taking podiums at the NORAM level. I have a couple roles that are still open. One is assistant chief of course, which is a great spot for someone that's done their level 2 but still a little unsure. Rob Cook is the chief of course, so whoever wants to take that would be in very good hands. The other role for someone that's done their level 2 is assistant finish ref. It's particularly on the slalom, it's a very exciting position because they come in fast and furious at the finish, and you get a good view of the entire track. The other positions that we're still looking for on the slalom would be gate judges and course workers. You know, the slalom's exciting, it's pretty jam-packed and pretty fast, and right now we have a very good crew of very experienced parents that are there, so it's a great opportunity to learn from some very experienced parents that have done this for a long time and are more than willing and happy to share their knowledge with anyone that wants to participate.
Awesome, thank you, John. Yeah, and last but not least, but is not on the call, is Jason Shorter. And Jason will be the chief of race for the Super G on the Thursday, and then the GSs for the rest of the time. Jen, do you have
Yeah,
something?
I have just a couple things that he passed on. So yeah, the things missing. We need assistant chief of gates and assistant finish ref. Those are two positions that are super low stress because the chief of gate and chief of finish ref we have are very skilled. So it's someone who will just be here to shadow and learn and hopefully step up in the next couple of years. But it's a great spot to learn with people who are very experienced. So yeah, those are and then we also need a chief of slip for Friday and Sunday, where it would have to be someone who's a very strong skier and good at communication. Those are the big spots who are missing on the Super G and GS. But again, like keep in mind, if you are willing to learn and you're interesting, like again, there's lots of very skilled parents who are going to be volunteering. So there's no, like if you want to just come and learn lots, there's lots to learn there, like no pressure.
Nice. Yeah. And to that, whether, you know, we have 3 great and experienced chief of race, and that race organizing committee is filled with some great people to help you skill up. And even if it's on, there's on hill, there's also off hill, lots of off hill opportunities to get involved. So in our last few minutes here, when I hand it back to Jen Hyries, who is, like I said, one of 2 wonderful chief volunteers, taking over from our amazing chief volunteer for the last 10 years, Abby Milowski. So we have Jen and
Georgia.
oh my gosh, Georgia, thank you.
She's not listening, it's fine.
Who will be carrying the torch. So Jen, over to you for any last call outs.
Just like everyone can find a job, even if you're not skiing, there's lots of off-hill jobs, like we said. If you're not a skier, if you know nothing about ski racing, just like there's lots to do. Even like the sign up is pretty precise if you go on it. If you don't find anything that works for you, just reach out and just tell us when you're available. We'll find something for you to do. And again, it's just a super fun event. It's the highlight of the year for the ski club. So if you're willing to help out, just reach out. We'll find something for you guys to do.
Awesome. Anything else before we sign off from any of the chiefs, or Christine or Rob? You're on mute, Jeff.
Yeah, I'll just jump in quickly, Mike. Just one thing to note for the people that are inexperienced or are not quite up to speed on it is sometimes with some roles there is an early load factor, which means that we have to load up the mountain at 7 a.m. for certain roles. Doesn't mean every role is like that. Many of the roles are not. And I bring that up, especially if you have racers involved. Sometimes it's a hard balancing act in the family to get them up. So do be aware of that. Also on my course, I did neglect to say some of the positions that are still available. We still need flaggers. We need a starter. We need a couple of scoreboard for top and bottom. We need bodies for that, which is always actually kind of a fun position. Some gatekeepers and a few other things. So lots of roles still to go. But I just thought I'd bring up the early load factor for some of the key positions.
Yeah. Great. Thanks,
Thank
Jeff. Yeah, it looks like we're hit our 30-minute target. You know, again, it's a really special event. And the more you get involved, the more you get out of it. And I think that goes for the why so many people keep coming back. And it's pretty infectious when you get around all the kids and that energy. And when you're able to provide opportunities like this, it's really special. So on behalf of the Whistler Cup Committee, myself, Christine Cogger, Rob Toole, Barbara Armstrong, and our chair, Jim McGovern, and all the chief of race and our volunteer chiefs on here. thank you for joining. If you have any questions, reach out to me, reach out to Christine Whistler-Cup at wmsc.info. Jen is easy to find, and we will be sending out the volunteer sign up link. It has been going out on the chats, on the emails, and on the website. So yeah, we're easy to find. And thank you all for joining.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah.